And Carly, you give me the go.
All right, we are good to begin.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Locke. I'm the Director of Community Relations for the Chandler Unified School District, and I serve on the Chandler Chamber of Commerce Education and Workforce Coalition Committee. I want to thank you for joining us here today on Zoom for Education and Workforce Development Roundtable discussion on continuing education programs. This event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. They are Intel, Arizona State University, Air Products and Chemicals, and Wells Fargo. I'd also like to thank the Education and Workforce Development Committee for all the help and all the work they did to create this wonderful roundtable for all of you. We want to thank you all. During these presentations, if you have any questions for the speakers, we'd like for you to just type in the chat box for the Q&A session, which will be coming up a little later in this morning. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first speaker this morning is Darcy Richardson. Darcy joined the Arizona State University as the Director of Continuing and Professional Education in 2016. In this role, she provides overall strategy, leadership, and support for the university non-credit programs, primarily delivered in the online format. So we know Darcy's been really busy lately, hasn't she? In addition, she also works closely with cross-campus instructional staff to facilitate, support, and ensure the successful development and launch of key non-credit programs and initiatives. During her tenure, the continuing and professional education course portfolio has grown to 380 programs with more than 40,000 learners. Darcy, would you take it away?
Yes, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today. As Terry said, I'm Darcy Richardson, Director of Continuing and Professional Education at ASU. I'm going to kind of walk you through a little bit of what we're doing at ASU to actually be able to serve our non-credit learners in the continuing and professional education space, and also be able to, at the same time, work closely with our strategic corporate partners to help them develop programs in regards to upskilling and reskilling employees in their companies. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. A little bit about ASU's continuing and professional education programs. It was really on the back burner until I came on board in the last 4 years, when we realized that there was a real need to develop the workforce of tomorrow, that degrees aren't just enough anymore for individuals and companies to be able to service their learners. We definitely understand that there's an uncertain present and rapidly changing future. I think we've all come to realize that in the past 5 months especially. And then looking forward, the demand for far different skills and knowledge are going to be very much different than they have been in the past century. So ASU recently launched a third arm of the university called the Learning Enterprise. And the Learning Enterprise actually is focused on non-matriculated students working to get away from the rigid and linear design of traditional education and provide effective ladders to social and economic opportunities for people, and again, the changes in the workforce. We're in an unprecedented moment of urgent need. As we know, over the past 12 weeks, more than 39 million Americans have filed for unemployment. Many of those employees, when they come back, won't be coming back to the same jobs that they left, unfortunately. So now is the time for us as continuing and professional education professionals to step up and provide those learning opportunities for individuals and companies to be able to quickly, rapidly adjust to those changes. So here's some facts. The average person is going to get a new job every 5 years. Each of these jobs will require skills most likely not learned in college. We currently have an estimated 5-year lifespan of a degree program. especially in areas like technology. By the time an individual finishes their degree, many of their skills may already be obsolete. We're dealing with skills gaps, an aging workforce, the fourth industrial revolution, and then this shift to digital learning, which has been greatly accentuated over the past few months as well. We've had a perfect storm: COVID-19, response to critical needs, addressing businesses and learners. The world as we knew it at the beginning of 2020 has now changed. So let's take a look at some of our diverse learners. Our diverse learners are needing new learning tools to assist in their social and economic mobility at various points in their careers. Whether they're career starters that are seeking additional skills in addition to degree programs, career changers as people seek upward mobility within their careers, within their companies, and then career advancers that are looking for changes to assist them as they proceed within their careers. So booming market demand for new learning models. This is what we're focused on developing right now. We've seen many articles like this for companies, both large and small, about how they can keep their workforce skilled to address changes in their business processes, technology processes. We've experienced this quite a bit at ASU with some of our strategic partners. Examples are Uber. We're working very closely with Uber on some specific programs for a segment of their drivers to help them in certain areas such as entrepreneurship and English language learning. I was actually quite surprised how many Uber drivers actually English is not their first language, and they are seeking ways to increase their skills. In regards to Starbucks, the Starbucks model is very much about presenting training opportunities for their baristas, or what they call their partners, not only to help them from a training perspective, but also a social mobility perspective. And also what they're finding is the subsequent result of that is actually retention. As you can imagine, baristas, it's a high turnover role, and this is helping with retention of their workforce. We also have worked with Adidas to help them, their sales force, move from a traditional storefront model of supporting their retailers to a digital model of supporting their retailers. So how we're approaching education. The traditional role, which is represented by the Lego infographic on the left at the bottom there, is it's very much linear. An individual goes to high school, they get up at high school, they go to college for their bachelor's degree, they may stop out, get a job for a while, come back and get a master's degree, advanced degree, and then continue in that academic trajectory. What we see the future of learning being is actually taking those Legos apart and creating ladders, pathways, stepping stones, so individuals will not just be learning at certain points in their lifetime, but will be actually learning throughout their entire lifetime, multiple on-ramps and off-ramps to help them achieve the skills, credits, and credentials that they need. We envision this being very much stackable. So a stackable credential can stack into a secondary credential, into a degree program, into an academic certificate, but it's very much dissected into smaller bits that individuals can immediately obtain skills that they apply to their jobs. And for industries, to understand the industry validated job skills, technical skills, and soft skills that are needed in the workplace so that we're able to, one, provide training opportunities for businesses and corporations directly to their workforce, and two, provide them with a potential workforce that could easily step into roles in a better, efficient and effective manner. We're able to respond quickly to changing skills-based life cycle demands, and we're focused on those flexible self-paced learning that can be taught 100% online to advance those career starters, career advancers, and career changers. So here's some of our prototypes that we're talking about. We're talking about pathways. We're talking about prototypes such as creating a pathway around Google IT certificate programs that then add on additional skills, such as soft skills, such as additional technology-based skills in addition to simply the Google IT certificate, which then stacks into further credentials. Stacking credentials, an example that we have been working on is we know that there's a consistent need for individuals with PMP certification, project management professionals, but not everyone has the work background that they're able to step into a true certification. So how do we break down that content that can be consumed by our learners in a way that they're able to gain those skills, but then they'll be and apply them within their job roles. But then when they're prepared with the rest of the qualifications for a PMP cert, they're able to immediately go to that next step. And then last but not least is our custom programs. We do a number of custom programs for our corporate partners. We actively curate and package existing ASU assets to meet corporate needs, repackage them, and be able to offer them to our corporate partners. A perfect example of this right now is we had previously developed a diversity training for Starbucks when they had some issues a few years ago. And we've now been able to curate that content, repackage it, and provide it for general availability in the marketplace. Oops. Another example that I can give that demonstrates some responsiveness to immediate needs that continuing and professional education has been able to do in these past few months. Mayo Clinic reached out to us and said, we have a number of non-ICU nurses that we're going to have to engage in the use of ventilators and all of the issues that go with implementation of ventilators on patients. So we immediately developed a curriculum, fully digitized, completely online, self-paced training course with input from both Mayo Clinic and our School of Nursing to train over 2,000 nurses now, non-ICU nurses, on the use of ventilators and all of the complications that may come along with that. So basically, in conclusion, I think we're all in agreement that upskilling is needed right now. ASU definitely is working to rapidly identify and develop those high quality courses and programs. We're looking at jobs of the future, current gaps in the workplace, what we're hearing from industry and businesses that they need so that we can develop the appropriate programs and present them to businesses and individuals and within specific industries. So that's my presentation for today. I thank you so much for your time. Happy to answer any questions during Q&A or after today's session. My contact information is here. Always happy to help in any way that I can.
Thank you, Darcy. That was very valuable information. We appreciate you sharing with us. Next, we'd like to have the opportunity to hear from Doug Small and Brenda Sipe from the Northern Arizona University. Doug serves as the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Business Development for Northern Arizona University. He is based in the Valley, so don't let his background fool you. He wishes he were in Flagstaff right now with the heat, but anyway, he's based in the Valley, and responsibilities include building educational partnerships with businesses, government agencies, and school districts to serve the educational needs of organizations throughout Arizona. Now, Brenda Sipe is the Director of Continuing Education at Northern Arizona University, NAU Online, and innovative educational initiatives. She is implementing a plan for the development of the university's MicroCredential program and is also overseeing workforce analysis. She will be developing innovative programs that match workforce needs and strive to meet both student and employer needs. She holds a doctorate in community college leadership and led the continuing and professional education programs at Kendall College of Art and Design at Ferris State University in Michigan for 18 years. Welcome, Doug and Brenda. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. And I'm glad you pointed out that I'm right here in the Valley. I always love to put this background up of our Flagstaff campus to show just the beauty that exists on campus. But NAU for quite a long time has had a mission to serve the whole state with our academic programs and now in workforce development. And so we have a lot of staff that are based around the state of Arizona, including in the East Valley. And so we're glad to be joining you here this morning to talk about how NAU can serve your needs in the workforce. And so first off, I thought I would focus in a little bit on our non-credit options. How can we serve you if you're a small business owner looking at resources to help you run your business? And so I'm going to start there. And first off, we developed, Terry mentioned a micro-credential program that Brenda's working on. And so we ended up creating, in response to a lot of the need for new business owners to come into the workplace, looking to make an impact with a local business, or some small business owners that are currently operating but may be struggling a little bit or needing some additional resources to help them. We created these certificate options for them, these credentials for them to be a resource and to help NAU connect to them. And so we offer a course that's a 90-day course that you could sign up for as a small business owner, or if you're thinking about creating a new business, you could sign up for this course that's online. It's Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. And with this course, some of the things that we help small business owners or those looking to get into ownership of a small business is how to read an expense report and a revenue report. Grasping the legal issues of creating a business. What does that look like? Defining the audience for your product or service. Looking at a competitive analysis. If I'm going to jump into this market, if I'm in this market, what does my competition look like? How do I position myself within that market? Strategies for marketing your product, as well as creating the basic business plan for your business. And then, as you probably know, those of you that are small business owners, that it's really a family operation to start your own business, that commitment level. And so how do you manage owning your own business and including your family in that process? And so it's a great course that's non-credit, it's online. And with it, again, you get access to 90 days of this curriculum to work through it, to help you process through some of these items. And then you're getting experience from our faculty members that have been there and done that. And so not only are you getting access to content and strategies to develop your business, but you're getting that mentoring and guidance and coaching along the way. And upon the completion of it, you'll get a digital badge that if you want to post that in LinkedIn or somewhere else, you could do that to show that you have that credential, but it's only $50 also. That's probably the best thing, is that you get all that information and access to experts for $50 for that 90-day access to that curriculum. Again, it's not an academic credential. It's not leading to course credit in a degree program. It's really a service to help small businesses create a business, small business owners create a business or get their business off the ground a little bit more than it has been. We offer a second course that's a follow-up to that, which is Entrepreneurship number 2, Baking the Idea. And essentially, it incorporates a lot of the elements that we just talked about. But if you're already in it, you're already running your business, but you need maybe some more advanced skills in those same areas. So you've developed a business plan, but maybe you need to tweak it and develop it a little bit further. You need to look at some financing options on a deeper level than you have already, maybe exploring your market. This would be a great course for you as a second option, because you're already in it. You already have a little bit of background. How do I go a little bit deeper? It has all the same benefits of the other course as far as the 90-day access, $50, again, and getting that help from a business faculty mentor. And the sign up for these is listed at the bottom of these slides. And again, at the end of my presentation, we'll share our contact information. So if you're interested in any of this information, you could reach out to us directly and get that from us. In addition to those 2 courses, and as Terry mentioned, we're developing a whole micro-credential program to serve businesses that will go way beyond what I just shared. So that will be coming. But currently we do offer business consulting services from some of the same faculty that are doing the things that I mentioned, as well as some other faculty that we have in our strategic leadership program. And so some of the content that they offer is similar to what we just mentioned, but they also go a little bit further. And so these are some individual consulting options that they can provide to you in your business. And this looks a little bit different in that this is more one-to-one, where they can have a phone conversation with you. They can work out, maybe it's a Skype meeting like we have here today, to talk with you and go a little bit more in depth with you about your business and some of these topics. And so again, business plan coaching, developing that plan, tweaking your current plan, disaster preparedness. This probably sounds a little too intense, but it's really about adapting to change, such as the COVID-19 situation. You've got this issue that you're faced with that you weren't planning for. How do you adapt quickly so that your business is impacted in the least amount, so you can recover much more quickly because you're ready for emergency situations that come up. The next topic is employee relations and stress management, especially at a time like this where customers are stressed out, maybe your employees are stressed out because of everything that's going on. How can you learn more about your own communication style? What is your communication style? How good are your listening skills? How can you improve those communication skills to assist your employees, but also assist your employees as they're interacting with your customers, especially when people are stressed out about whether I wear a mask in your operation or not wear a mask in your operation. You know, there's stressors that are now in your business that may not have existed before. How can you work with your team to manage that well? The 6 feet challenge, you know, we all need to social distance, improving your communication skills with your customers because their involvement in your business is going to look a little bit different now. So how do you work with your employees to help your customers feel comfortable in your organization with some of the new social distancing that's going on? The next one is writing the waves of diversity and change. So this is how to understand diversity, your diverse customer service base, and work with a diverse audience. So whether it's the staff that you're hiring or those that you're interacting with, how can we help you understand working with a diverse population? So this class, this kind of consulting can help you just understand different cultures and how to be effective in serving them. The next one is understanding competition. Again, what is your business all about? Who are you within that market? And understanding who your competitors are and how to position yourself in the best way to work with them and compete against them. Strategic planning, again, developing the strategy now that you know your position in the market. How do you develop the strategies to make your operation the most effective in reaching your customers and competing against those that have a like business or service? And then the last thing is leading innovation. You may have a certain product or service and you may be looking at, okay, what's my next thing? What's the next step that I want to take? And how do I innovate so that I can grow my business, but also so that innovation applies directly to your business, so that it makes sense for your operation, that you're not trying to do something that's really out of your operation. So how do you innovate, but innovate with purpose? So these are just some of the items that our faculty can assist you with in working with you for a fee, but coming in and working one-to-one with you to help you develop your business along some of these topics. Now I'm going to shift a little bit towards organizational engagement and some additional things that we do. So how do we bring NAU to your organization on a bigger scale too? And so you may be looking for employees, you may be looking for interns. And so we have a tool called Handshake, which a lot of universities utilize, in which you can post your job openings, what you're looking for in a student or a graduate as far as a degree, maybe other additional background that you're looking for. And so you can post those openings to Handshake and have exposure to all of our students across the university. Or if you have an internship, you can post that as well. And one thing about our campus in Flagstaff is that many of our students, we have approximately 22,000 on campus, and the bulk of those, probably about 11,000, are from the Valley. And so a lot of our students are coming from the Valley up to Flagstaff and then returning back to the Valley to work. And so you can get that access to employees that want to be back in your community. So look at NAU as a resource. We're not just in Flagstaff. Again, we're all over the state, but you have access to all of our students throughout Arizona, wherever they are. Additionally, this is a lot of where higher education is going to. A lot of us are going towards prior learning assessment. NAU is working a lot on this, especially with our community college partners, in which they're looking at training that took place in a non-academic environment. It may have been on the job, and how do we credentialize that and bring that into our degree programs? And so there's some really good quality training going out, and we want to look at how can we put that into a degree program to honor that education that employees are getting in other means, in other learning environments. An example is through Arizona Public Service. They came to us and approached us about some of their nuclear engineers. They're doing some training on site at the Palo Verde nuclear plant, and they're being trained to be reactor operators. And they're getting this training that has a lot of math and science in it, a lot of principles of nuclear engineering and power. And so they worked with our engineering program to look at, can we include this training? Can you award credit for that training in your degree program? And so we had some really good conversations with them. We evaluated the training, and those students, those employees are going to get up to 48 credits in one of our engineering programs because of the training was so strong in such of a high caliber that we're looking at, we're actually bringing that credit in to our degree program. So that was a great opportunity, in working with APS on that opportunity. There's another group called Arizona HIDA, High Incident Drug Trafficking Area, in which this group trains law enforcement officers on drug trafficking issues. And we reviewed that curriculum and we said, okay, this is some really great training and is relevant to our Justice Studies curriculum. And so we were able to award credit for that training for officers that want to move into a bachelor's degree in Justice Studies or a master's degree with a Justice Studies emphasis. There's another group called the Chair Leadership Academy, where they do a lot of leadership training for people of all backgrounds. Educators is a big population for them. We reviewed their curriculum and were able to award credit towards a master's degree for the training that they were providing. So there's ways to look at the training that you might be exposing your employees to that's not an academic pathway, but take a look at that to see how can we utilize that in our degree programs, because it's solid, good training, and it's not sending your employees back to ground zero to start a degree. How can we leverage the great training that they're getting in the workforce and apply it to a degree? On a different note, just to show how we worked with industry, Banner Health was talking to the community colleges about wanting to hire more bachelor's degree nurses. And so the community colleges provide that associate's degree that leads to a nursing license, but not the bachelor's degree. And so the Maricopa community colleges came to NAU and said, could we develop a pathway in which we blend our curriculum together? We have an RN to a BSN degree completion program, but the way it was set up is that the students had to do the associates first and then the baccalaureate. So they asked us, could we integrate it so that the students complete the associates and the baccalaureate at the same time, so that when they graduate from our nursing program, they're ready to go to work for Banner. They don't have to wait to go on and get the bachelor's degree first. And so we worked with our community college partners and Banner to create that integrated program, which many universities are now using. And so that's a great way where industry came to us and said, can you make some changes to help us in our workforce? Another way that we're serving business and industry is that we're doing on-site cohorts. So we're working with Discover Financial. They have a relationship with Glendale Community College in the West Valley, and Glendale is offering classes on site during the lunch hour for Discover Financial employees. And so they're going to complete their associate's degree through Glendale at Discover, and then transition into NAU's bachelor's degree in strategic leadership, in which we're going to offer our classes right there on the campus for those Discover employees. And so that's an example where Discover said, we want our employees to have a bachelor's degree. We want to make it convenient for them to earn it. We have a group of employees that want to come into your program. And so we worked with Glendale Community College to make that bachelor's degree pathway possible at Discover Financial. And then we work a lot with school districts in providing our programs on site to them too, for teachers that want to go on and earn a master's degree in a certain area. Educational leadership is a big one, to work with teachers that want to move into administration. So with this point, I'm just trying to communicate that NAU isn't just up in Flagstaff. It's all over the state. We try to help local communities and local businesses help their employees advance their education. And so there are some really great opportunities for us to do that. The last point on this slide, tuition reduction partnership. We have a partnership in which we offer organizations a 10% discount on our graduate programs. Just a way to show our appreciation for partnering with those organizations and for their support of helping their employees advance their education. And so that's something that we'd be glad to talk with your organization about if that's something that you'd like to pursue. Just a couple last slides on more of a traditional educational experience. NAU, like I mentioned, we're all over the state. We have a location on the Chandler-Gilbert Community College campus in which we offer these 3 bachelor's degree pathways. The idea is that students go to Chandler-Gilbert, stay local in the community, they earn their associate's degree, and then they can transition to NAU courses right there on the campus. They don't have to leave the community. It's an affordable model because they're paying the tuition rate at Chandler-Gilbert for the first couple of years, and then transitioning into our courses, which have a lower tuition rate than our campus model. And so it's a great way for individuals that want to stay in your community, earn their degree, and stay there afterwards. And so with this program, for students that are coming out of Chandler-Gilbert Community College, we have transfer scholarships to help with that affordability even more. It's $2,000 per year in a transfer scholarship for those students. And those are students that you might have access to too. Again, if you have internship experience or opportunities that you want to promote to our business students, that might be a resource for some of you to take advantage of. We also have that RN to BSN program that I mentioned earlier that is in partnership with Chandler-Gilbert Community College. And we have full-time staff on the campus to help students with that transition from Chandler-Gilbert to NAU, whether it's going to our local campus, going up to Flagstaff, going into one of our online programs. We have a full-time person on the campus there to assist students with that process. We also have one online learning opportunity that I'll mention, and then I'll wrap it up, which is personalized learning. And this is a self-paced, competency-based program in which students can start each week. We have starts every week. It is self-paced, so it's the student working with our curriculum to go and complete the lessons and the modules and the classes at their own pace. It's fully online. And it's only $3,000 for a 6-month subscription. Everything is included. There are no extra fees. There are no books. It's all contained online. And so it's a really affordable model. And some organizations offer $5,250 per year in tuition reimbursement. This pretty much covers most of that. So there'd be very little out of pocket for your employees under this model. And some of the degree options include a general liberal arts degree, a liberal studies degree, a management degree, as well as the RN to BSN completion, and then a computer information technology degree, both at the bachelor's level and the master's level. And so if you have employees at your organization that want to earn their degree, they're looking for that credential, this is a great opportunity for them in these select academic areas to help them move along, complete their degree, do it at their pace because they're working professionals and they're juggling a lot. So we can talk more about that opportunity. This is our information. If you want to write down my email address or phone number or Brenda's, we'd be glad to follow up with you on anything that we discussed. And in the Q&A session, if we have time, I'd love to hear more about your needs professionally, whether it's workforce development or formal educational programming. What can we do that we haven't talked about to serve your needs? So thank you very much. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Doug and Brenda, for joining us this morning. You had some really good information to share, Doug. Our final speaker this morning will be Gabriela Rosu. She is the Dean of Instruction at Chandler-Gilbert Community College. Mrs. Rosu has earned a Master's of Science in Multimedia from Duquesne University, a Bachelor of Science in Computer Information Systems from Robert Morris University, and is a PhD candidate with Grand Canyon University. Mrs. Rosu also holds Homeland Security Level 5 certification and other security and ethical hacking certifications. Mrs. Rosu is also a member of the American College of Forensics Examiners Institute, a board member for the American Board for Information Security and Computer Forensics, and the Oxford Roundtable. Some of Mrs. Rosu's presentations and research topics include identity theft, the new era of modern crimes, a look at the evolution of organized crime in cyberspace, human security, a vulnerability to global security and terrorism, new age of cyberspace, boundaries between cybercrime and cyber terrorism. So she brings a lot to the table, and we'd love to hear from you, Rosu.
Thank you so much. Good morning. And we're still adjusting to the Arizona heat. We moved to Arizona, been with Chandler-Gilbert for 3 years, and it's a good adjustment. I do not have a presentation because when I talk from presentation, it's going to take me probably an hour, and I want to be sensitive of time. I can talk a lot about our workforce. So what I would like to address first is what attracted me to Maricopa Community College, is what attracted me to Chandler-Gilbert when I interviewed, is the innovation and creativity approach. And the model that, as we know, the vision and the mission of community colleges are one to train and have the education to train our students for the workforce, and also to have the students transfer into a four-year degree. And I would like to talk more about our workforce. As a Dean of Instruction, I oversee several divisions in a STEM area and occupational programs that we call from engineering to aerospace, IT, business, and their multitude of health sciences. But our Maricopa Community Colleges as a whole, we approach as innovative in industry, it's innovation in education. More so with the current situation with the COVID, we see this as an opportunity that it pushes us to be more creative and look at technology, for example, that we did not look before. We are too busy. We have also, as a Maricopa, we have our MCOR and our workforce and economic development office that we have strong partnership with foundations and industry all over the valley and across the state. At Chandler-Gilbert Community College, in partnership with Jenna Hall, who she's our Associate VP for Community Relations, we have strong partnership. When we see that we listen and we hear our partners, we also act on it. Industry are moving, and our business partnerships, they're moving fast on their end. And being in higher education for 15 years, we know that higher education, it takes a little bit longer to address the needs in a workforce. So we are more proactive into that effect. Darcy and Doc mentioned, we offer at Chandler-Gilbert stackable certificates. It's not about just having our traditional students going through traditional education, but how to be innovative to address the workforce in terms of giving them the skills and give them the career needs. As stackable certificates, one of the innovation approach that we did in IT is when students go through our newly cybersecurity a program that we created in partnership with high schools during the pipeline and U of A. We have short stackable certificates, but also students are taking specific classes that needs an industry certification. Instead of going and graduate and go and sit for that certificate, we became a proctor testing, a Pearson V testing on site. So students are taking as the final exam, they're taking that specific certification as an A+ or the Cisco certification or the Security Plus. What that means, the students are they're right away employable. And also we work agreements with our employees, with our partners, to allow the students to continue education as they employ full-time. So this way we prepare our students for the workforce right away, and also they continue the education. Another innovation, as everybody see, our Strongest Partners business, recently we are launching now for fall, the new artificial intelligence program. It's an Associate of Applied Science, and also we have a certificate embedded into that to meet the needs of workforce. And how that came into place is Intel, our Stronger Partners, and also it's the first program in the country at the community college that we have an artificial intelligence program, and in partnership with a industry. How that came into light is Intel approached us that this is the needs that they are moving forward. And they need to have a program that creates the workforce now, not in 5 years, not in 10 years, not in 3 years, and not $10 million later. We need to have it now. So it took us 6 months to put in place an advisory council with Intel and our Estrella Mountain College in Chandler-Gilbert. The first class is launching in fall of now. The class is full. Our first artificial intelligence class is full. But the unique partnership with our workforce with Intel is Intel provided our training for our faculty. Our faculty sat into several weeks, 10 hours a day training with our Singapore partner, with Intel Singapore partner in artificial intelligence. So the program is not just Chandler-Gilbert, it's how it addresses the business solution with artificial intelligence at the global level. We have those 6 core classes that students are taking are looking at innovative approach. It pushes us to look how we're gonna teach the hands-on, how you're gonna repair, how you're gonna come up with a business solution for aerospace when you don't touch an engine, or when you don't touch the patient in the healthcare. So we're looking at augmented reality labs that actually teaches the students how to have that touchy feeling approach. So this is one of our innovative approach, how we support. We have partnership from Northrop Grumman to Intel, Boeing, that we create stackable certificates. The other partnership that we just created is addressing the leadership lack into the law enforcement and the fire science offices across the valley. So their approach to us was, we really need to train. We have 400 law enforcement officers that come up to the pipeline. They need to be leaders, and we don't have the space or the capability to train our new leadership. So again, it took us to put the leaders, to put the faculty together and put the leadership. How are we going to create a certificate in leadership for public administration to address specific needs for the law enforcement and the fire science, in terms of how I'm going to do the budget, how I'm going to address diversity, how I'm going to address my emotional state of my employees, how I'm going to address the management piece. You're not a manager, you're a leader. So all those pieces we came together. We're launching that again in the fall. It's going to be offered across the district, and also it will be done in one semester. So students, the students, meaning the workforce, our partners, they can take the law enforcement, they can take one semester classes back to back. They're 8 weeks, and they prepare them to be able to get their management, their new step into the leadership role, to get advanced. And also this certificate is going to allow them to move to ASU, to other universities, to get their bachelor's degree. Those are a few examples. I'm looking at the time to be sensitive at time. And also when we talk about the skill base, in terms of how we address the skills versus career, how we trained our workforce to get a skilled, for example, with the Apple, everybody can code. That is a skill that students can earn a skill they earn in money while they're in school, and they earn a certificate also. Our partnership, when we talk about the healthcare, the healthcare partnership with our U of A and ASU, how we can put into the hospitals, how we can address the short-term certificates, and how we can make them into earning a job while they go to school. So I know I can blab. I would like to offer my contact information are on our webpage, as long as also as Jenna's, and we can answer any questions related to our workforce needs.
Thank you, Gabriela, for sharing that. I've learned so much this morning. I'm glad we got these great experts in the room. I'd like to open the floor up right now for any questions for the speakers, for the audience at this time. Please ask your questions in the chat. I don't see any yet. If you prefer, raise your hand and feature, and we'll unmute your mic. I can't talk this morning. We have Carly Hankins doing a great job behind the scenes, kind of the Oz back there. But just an incredible amount of information. I learned so much today, and I hope all of the other viewers this morning did as well. I think we can all agree that we have a wonderful higher education organizations, multiple in our community, serving our community, city of Chandler. So we're really grateful. I'm going to thank all of the speakers for being here to share these important opportunities for continuing education. Again, I'm not seeing any questions yet. Carly, are you seeing anything queued up?
I do not. We do have the chat open. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in there. I'm not seeing any either.
You've got these 4 experts right here, boy. Take advantage of having them here. They're amazing people. While we're waiting for that, I want to also thank our sponsors for making this event possible and supporting our programs. They are Intel, Arizona State University, Air Products and Chemicals, and Wells Fargo. And big thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for pulling all of us together and providing these resources for our business and our community in general. And a big thanks to Carly Hankins, again, working behind the scenes to make sure all the technology works and giving us an opportunity to share this information. So last call for questions. If not, again, I want to thank our panelists and thank all of you for joining us today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining
Thanks,
us.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.